So let's talk about the right way. My feet are hip distance apart. Whenever I lay down, I should be able to touch my heels with my fingertips. Hands are gonna go behind the head, elbows stay open. Now as I crunch up, I wanna make sure my lower back presses into the mat, and I'm gonna lift my chest up so that my shoulder blades come up off the mat. Now as you can tell, my neck is neutral, and I'm taking the workout right into my core, filling it all through the midline, right where I want it to feel. I'm Charlie Atkins, and that's the right way to do a crunch. For more right ways, subscribe to Well and Good right now.
TAP is a core exercise that targets the rectus abdominis, obliques, and psoas. To begin, place your hands underneath your bottom. Raise your legs to tabletop position. Plantar flex the ankles. Maintain steady flexion at the knee, but slowly extend the right hip, reaching your right foot towards the floor. Barely tap your toes to the floor as if you're trying to make a tiny ripple in a pond of water. Raise the right leg back to starting position and repeat with the left leg. This is
Do a bicycle crunch. You could do them at a boot camp in the grass. You could do them at home on a mat. You're just gonna come onto your back. And I like to start by bringing both knees up off the floor and making sure that before you even begin, that you're pulling the abdominal muscles in. So when you breathe in naturally, on the inhale, the belly expands. On the exhale, the abdominals draw inwards. So that's what you want to focus on to engage the deep layer, the transverse abdominis. It kind of runs across your body like a belt. So just think of it as like cinching a belt tightly around your waist. Then you want to engage the superficial layer, the rectus abdominis, aka your six pack. So that muscle group is the muscle that flexes your spine. So drawing the belly in and then flexing your spine and starting to engage the superficial layer. So now you're firing up your entire core. Then you're going to take the hands behind the head, open up the elbows. I'd like to have you think that you're not able to see your elbows in your periphery. So instead of getting like this and potentially pulling on your head and stressing out the sternocleidomastoid and all those other muscles in the front of your neck, just keep it relaxed, open up, keep the heart open. One leg goes in as the other leg goes out. So this is the mechanics of the lower body in the bicycle crunch. The more you extend your leg, the more you're gonna fire up your quad muscle. If I keep my leg slack, I'm not getting as much recruitment of the quad. So if you can fully extend energy all the way out through the legs. And then to really get the obliques, the muscles of the abdominals that rotate your body, you need to add in the rotation. So you're
Reverse crunch is a core exercise of the glamour muscles, the rectus abdominis. First, we'll learn a standard exercise, then a progression. Simply place your hands underneath your bottom. Bend your knees a little or a lot, depending on how challenging you'd like to make the movement. The more you bend, the easier it will be. Point your toes. Begin by hovering the feet above the floor. End by drawing the legs in towards the torso and slightly up towards the ceiling. To intensify this crunch, you can add an isometric basic crunch. To do this, place your hands behind your head with elbows slightly in. Lift your shoulders off the ground several inches, then freeze, holding that position. From there, draw the legs in and up into the reverse crunch. Repeat several repetitions of the lower body movement while keeping your upper body frozen in that isometric hold. This has been a reverse crunch with a progression option.
How to do a Russian twist correctly. So the first mistake I see people making is not engaging and holding in their core. You really want to make sure that everything's sucked in, navel sucked to the spine, and hold that throughout the journey. The second tip I see is when people are not twisting their chest enough. You want to make sure that you're slowly rotating along with your arms so you're getting that twisted with the obliques. The third thing is I see people either sitting too far forward or too far back. You don't want too much pressure in your core. You want to be right in the center of the middle. So all we now need to do is put all those three tips together, and this is how you do a lovely Russian twist.
And basically what you're gonna do is you're gonna lay down on your back, put your hands down by your side. You're gonna make sure that your back is flat against the floor, all right? And what you're gonna do is there's two different variations of doing this. And what it's gonna do is it's gonna work your legs, but we're also gonna work the core, because the core is what's keeping your legs up off the ground. So we're gonna lift, and we're either gonna kick like this. Make sure that you're breathing the entire time. Your core is tight. Your legs are straight. You're working your legs, your core, you're kicking, or you can go back and forth, just like this, which are more like scissors, flutter kicks, back and forth. This is a great exercise to work your legs and your core. Basically, hold it for about 20 to 30 seconds and then rest. And you can do 2 to 3 sets of this for about the same amount of time, and you're gonna really feel it burn after a while. So up. Now when you do the flutter kicks, make sure that your back is flat against the floor. Because if you arch, you might feel a little bit of, a pain in your lower back while you're doing the exercise. If you feel pain, stop what you're doing because you want to listen to your body. You don't want to push any farther. So just make sure that your form is correct when you're doing these exercises.
Leg raise. Lay all the way down on your back. Hands are down by your sides. If you have issues with your neck, you want to keep your head relaxed firmly on the floor. Legs are coming up in the air. We're working transverse abdominals. These are the deepest muscles in our stomach. Hands can either go by the sides or underneath your glutes, wherever you're comfortable. We're lowering the legs halfway or all the way, and then we're lifting up. The breath is going to come in as we lower and out as we lift. Things you want to avoid: the shoulders peeling up off the floor. So you want to avoid putting pressure in that chest and the shoulder area. Let the hands fall slowly beside the sides. Walk the hands down the mat, chest is open. You want to avoid the back arching, so we don't want a big stretch in the lower back. Keep the back firmly pressed into the floor, neck is long. Repeat the reps, as many as you comfortably can. Beginners are 8 to 12 repetitions. Those of you who've been doing it for a while may get up to 25 to 50 repetitions. You can do 2 to 3 sets, and that is how you work your leg raises.